What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. Hope you guys are doing well out there on this Wednesday night. I'm doing really good myself. I come across this particular story right here, and whoever did this in that school needs to be tarred, feathered, and drugged through the streets. And that's just all to it. Um, it appears that we have another corner store Karen situation, you know? Now, to get into this particular story, it says here family seeks apology after son 6 accused of sexual harassment. Accused of sexual harassment. Here we go again. We're going to read this article first, and then we'll get into the video, okay? This happened in Summerville, Massachusetts. The parents of a Summerville boy want answers and action more than a year after their 6-year-old son was accused of sexual misconduct. The boy's parents say the school notified police before them, and the incident will have lasting impact on their lives. Or their son. It says their son, but you can pass it off for lives too. All of them, it just don't make no damn sense that these sick freaks out here in the world will look at a child in that way, as far as I'm concerned, to accuse them of some kind of sexual misconduct or deviancy or whatever. Look what's going through these motherfuckers' mind. All right, I like to see the person who did this shit. To continue, he had absolutely no idea that anything had happened or that anything was wrong, Sean Robertson said. Robertson and Flavia Perea were stunned when their first grade son was accused of inappropriately touching a girl in his class, in November 2019. By the time they were notified, the school had already alerted police, who filed a report, which is now sealed. Now, what do you mean sealed? Is this going to go on this record or something like this? This child, let me continue. When the dean of the students called me on the phone, she said that he had touched another little girl and that they were required to report all incidents of sexual harassment. And she's termed sexual harassment twice, Perea said. It's important to distinguish between a child being, sexually curious, Dr. Janet Taylor said, but it's not sexual in the sense of an adult sexual interaction. The couple said their son had no history of behavioral or disciplinary issues at school. We've actually had several conversations with him about what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate, like any parent would, Robertson said. It's heartbreaking to speak as a black man to send our son, to a place where I don't think he is safe. And that's true. Where did he touch the child? Because, see, far as I'm concerned, he might have touched her on the shoulder or arm, and they said some shit like this. Sick people, with these misconceived, thoughts that they shouldn't even be labeling a child as doing in the first place. Now, to continue, under Massachusetts law, children under 12 cannot be charged with a crime, but his parents are concerned their son now has a permanent record on file with the Department of Children and Families and Summerville Police. I want this record expunged. That should not exist, Perea said. Unfortunately, when school personnel often look at a black and brown boy, they don't see a little kid. They don't see the child behaving like a child. They immediately pathologize what would happen. They assume the worst. They criminalize his behavior. Our teachers and staff have and are expected to follow all necessary reporting procedures and obligations as required by all relevant agencies and authorities. Summerville Public Schools said in a statement, our district and our school committee are also fully committed to continuing the deep equity work that we have been intensifying over the last several years. The family said they want the school district to apologize and help clear their son's record and name. I think they should too, because I mean, what did they call inappropriate touching that they would call the police in the first place? And as far as I'm concerned, this was an issue, a matter for them to contact the parents first. You don't call the police on a 6-year-old child. You know, let's say, for example, even if he did, touch this other child, what they deemed would be inappropriately. It was an issue to where the parents would have to correct that by them contacting the parent and informing them of such. Let's check this video out.
A Summerville family seeking justice for their little boy.
He had absolutely no idea that anything had happened or that anything was wrong.
Sean Robertson and Flavia Perea were stunned when their first grade son was accused of inappropriately touching a girl in his class in November of 2019. By the time they were notified, the school had already alerted police, who filed a report, which is now sealed.
When the dean of students called me on the phone, she said that he had touched another little girl and that they were required to report all incidents of sexual harassment. And she used the term sexual harassment twice.
It's important to distinguish between a child being, sexually curious, but it's not sexual in the sense of an adult sexual interaction.
They say their son, just 6 years old at the time, had no history of behavioral or disciplinary issues at school.
But we've actually had several conversations with him about what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate, like any parent would. It's heartbreaking to speaking as a Black man, to send my son, our son, to a place where I think he isn't safe.
Under Massachusetts state law, children under the age of 12 cannot be charged with a crime, but his parents are concerned their son now has a permanent record on file with DCF and Summerville police.
I want his record expunged. That should not exist. Unfortunately, when school personnel often look at a Black and brown boy, they don't see a little kid. They don't see a child behaving like a child. They immediately pathologize what had happened. They assumed the worst. They criminalize his behavior.
Somerville Public Schools says they can't comment on specific student matters, but released a statement saying in part, our teachers and staff have and are expected to follow all necessary reporting procedures and obligations as required by all relevant agencies and authorities, adding, our district and our school committee are also fully committed to continuing the deep equity work that we have been intensifying over the last several years. The family says they want the school district to apologize and to help clear their son's record and his name. Antoinette Antonio, WCVB News Center 5.
This is shameful. This is shameful. Maybe the prison to school pipeline theory, is right. Maybe it's true. You understand what I'm saying? They want to label this child as some kind of sex offender, had this on his record, all the way up until an adult. And then, for example, if he gets into any other trouble, they're going to throw that on him too. Well, he has priors, sexual harassment, some bullshit. The family, of this child, the parents rather, they are right to feel the way they do. And it should be rectified. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, your views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.